This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
The next guard I want to look at today is a new name for us here on the show that we have not, I don't believe we've yet mentioned, but we are today, and that is Kyan Evans. Kyan Evans, like the normal spelling. He is a rising junior. He is 6'2", 175. He was Colorado State's lead guard this past year. You might remember him from the tournament where he dropped 23 on Memphis in their first round, making 6 threes. Crazy, crazy stuff there. And that Colorado State team, you probably remember them. They were the victims of a buzzer beater in the second round, losing to Maryland. Nick Clifford is probably the name you know from that Colorado State team. He's going to be off to the NBA, but Kyan Evans is right there as well. Evans is actually, interestingly, from just up the road from me, up in Kansas City, Staley High School, just about 2 hours north of where I'm recording right now. Numbers from this past year: 10.6 assists, 2.9 boards, I said 10.6 assists, I meant 10.6 points, 2.9 rebounds, 3.1 assists to 1.9 turnovers, 0.8 steals, so just shy of 1 steal a game. Here's the big number that jumps out to me: 44.6% from three on 4.4 attempts a game. 70 of 157 was his total threes. And then at the free throw line, we lost RJ Davis, and Kyan Evans might be the guy to fill his shoes. 85.2% from the free throw line on 2.3 attempts a game. So the dude can fill it up from beyond the arc and at the free throw line. And is a lead guard who's going to do a little bit of everything. This season, he started all 36 of Colorado State's games as a sophomore. Get this. He led the entire Mountain West Conference in true shooting percentage, which just kind of takes account of twos, threes, and free throws. And, you know, I know you might not know everything about the Mountain West, but they are like one of 2-3 conferences just right outside the Power 5 in basketball. As a reminder, in basketball, we add the Big East to the ACC, Big 10, Big 12, and SEC. And the Mountain West exists just outside of that, but it's very high-level basketball, very great players. And so the fact that Kyan Evans led the conference in true shooting percentage is something. There is something very much to that. In terms of like, I don't know, that's a little worrisome to me. The biggest thing that jumps out is his turnovers, right? 3.1 assists to basically 2 turnovers a game. And the assist rate and turnover rate are almost identical. His assist rate is 20.4%. His, turnover rate is 19.2%. So just a percentage point behind. As a reminder, yes, Elliot's turnover percentage is higher, around 25, but he's also at a 38% assist rate to make up for more of that. If Carolina is to fully go after Evans and land him as their lead guard, there's got to be bigger separation in that assist to turnover ratio. Even if the assists stay where they're at right now, but the turnovers just come way down, that's great. But I would rather see them both go in opposite directions. Assists go up and the turnovers go down. Did you ever sing that song about Noah and the Ark? The rains came down and the flood. Anyway, I'm a Bible dork. Forgive me. That's my church coming out here on a Tuesday evening. Now, you want shooting? I know Hubert Davis does. I think in this day and age, you cannot have enough shooting. And you need shooters with size. Shooters that can get their shots off, that have quick twitch, that are unconscious, that don't care that they've missed 7 in a row. They're going to keep shooting. Well, Kyan Evans has it, man. I already mentioned the 44.6% from 3, the 85.2% from the free throw line. Let me tell you about what he did from beyond the arc in the postseason. So I'm combining the Mountain West Conference tournament and the NCAA tournament. This dude in those 5 games shot 16 of 26 from beyond the arc. That's 61.5%. That is silly. Like, that's what we were talking about with Tyrese Proctor and his absurd NCAA tournament. That's what Kyan Evans did. In Colorado State's final 15 games of the season, so the final 10 regular season games and the 5 postseason games, let me make sure I'm not wrong about how many postseason games they played. Give me just a second. Let's look up his game log from this year. Yes, 5. So it's the 10 final regular season games and the 5 games of the postseason. He made multiple three-pointers in 13 of those 15 games. It's really, really good stuff. In the ones that he didn't, the 2 that he didn't, he made a 3, but he just made one of them. I mean, so that means he made a 3 in at least one in each of their final 15 games this season. Absolutely, you'll take that and you'll say thank you very much. You often wonder with the point guard, all right, you're getting those threes and you're knocking them down, my dude. But I already said I'd like to see his free throw rate go up a little bit. But I always wonder, like, how are your twos when you're shooting that many threes? Well, basically, he took 3 threes for every 2 twos. I can live with that. That's a good ratio. It's not, remember, Cade Tyson came into the year having taken more 2s than 3s in his career. But I think this is a fine balance, especially for somebody that knocks down the 3s at the rate that he does. That's really impressive. Here's a struggle I do have, though, as I watch Kyan Evans. I don't want to be swayed by his NCAA tournament performance, right? The 23 points against Memphis, which is saying something. But that's just one of 2 career games where he's had 20 or more points. Remember, we talked about it with Lee. He's got 19 career games of 20 or more points. He had 6 threes in that game against Memphis, but literally the rest of his career never had more than 4. And so there's those kind of things. It's like everything seems legit. Everything checks out. He plays at a high level of basketball. It's not like some low major conference where he's got like, I don't know. No, like he's done it at high levels. I just want to be careful not to be swayed by the NCAA tournament performance. One thing that's perhaps interesting is the fact that it's been reported, I saw this from a couple different sources and sites, that he doesn't necessarily feel like he's got to take a trip to make a commitment. Kind of similar to Jonathan Powell. Remember, he Zoomed with the staff, but never actually came to Chapel Hill yet. And so there's that. The other thing I would say is his head coach at Colorado State, Nico Medved, is headed off to Minnesota. And so the question is, will he want to follow him there? That's something to keep an eye on. It was reported at one point that he was going to take a trip to Minnesota after the dead period. So that would be Friday or beyond. So we'll keep our eyes on that. I think you kind of want to keep him away. You know what I'm saying? And so that's the thing there. One other thing I'll say about Kyan Evans is that if you're able to land somebody like him that is such a prolific three-point shooter, if you can have that at the 1, that makes me feel more capable to start Seth at the 2. So that's just something to keep in mind too with Kyan Evans. If he comes and brings all that three-point shooting, maybe that opens the door to say, like, all right, so it's not quite as important of Seth to shoot a high percentage from 3.